Welcome to another edition of Play It Through, and this time around it's Snoopy's Silly Sports Spectacular, brought to us by Chemco. Now, Chemco also did Uninvited, Bugs Bunny's Crazy Castles, and also one of my favorite RPGs on the NES, The Legend of the Ghost Lion. Now, this game is, of course, in the vein of all the other Olympic games that have come out over the years, including, of course, the track and field games and caveman games, which I've already covered. Now, in this one is, well, a little bit different. I actually will be going through and playing all the events 3 times each. Yes, you heard me, 3 times each. And by doing so, you'll actually get to see the ending of the game, which just shows Snoopy, like, celebrating and then what medal you got. This game is also known as Donald Duck in Japan, which the only difference is you play as Donald Duck. That's it. So I'm going to go ahead and do the one-play total game, or one-player total game, which would be officially what it would be. And we start off with a sack race. My rival for these events is one of Snoopy's brothers. This one is Spike. He's one, I guess, the more famous of Snoopy's siblings. But this game, this little sack race game, works pretty easily. Just making small little jumps, and you actually have to get a rhythm down. It's a little bit off, but you basically just want to get a small rhythm going. You can see once you get that rhythm going, my speed picks up, and I start going way ahead of my opponent. Now, the thing about it is, if my opponent does fall all the way to the back, or if I have fallen all the way to the back, Woodstock is there, as you just saw, to go ahead and push you forward, so you're never really out of the race completely. And Spike falls at the finish line. So that was a pretty easy event. What your goal is, though, you're trying to get a certain grand total of points, and after you've beaten every single one of the games 3 times each, your point total decides what medal you have earned, whether it's bronze, silver, or gold. The thing is, I usually end up getting just the bronze. Now, this event here is the boot toss, which is, of course, very similar to the mate toss from caveman games, where you have to rotate the D-pad, get it going, and then launch it at the correct angle, which you want to launch it, not completely down. That one little animation going from down forward that really gets it going and can launch it pretty darn far. 2 boot tosses and you complete the goal. The reason why I'm actually going to be beating every one of the events all 3 times in this video instead of just doing them once each is because they really don't take too long to do. Now, the pogo event is a pain in the butt. I have a hard time usually being able to jump over these. You have to time it correctly, get close, and then jump over. If you accidentally mistime your jump, you completely crash into them. You can't back up, you can't do any of that. So you have to be very careful when jumping over each and every one of the obstacles. Now, the next event after that, as you can see, my grand total is now 2,440 points. Pretty good. I'm going towards the world record there, you see at the top. Is Overboard, where you have to shove your rival, in this case Spike, off of the boat. A kind of, a gondola, it looks like in Italy, in Venice. And after a bunch of random pushes, he'll fly off the boat. I don't understand how the dynamics actually work during the game, so I just usually shove and he goes over. There's no real strategy because I really don't know quite how you're supposed to angle it or anything. So you'll see every time I'm just kind of shoving and hoping for the best. Now, this event is the pile of pizza event, kind of like a leaning tower of pizza. Haha, as you can see, the leaning tower of Pisa is in the background of this event. Now, there's several different strategies I can do in this one. I can try to go all the way out. Now, you actually, when you're walking, you actually can control pretty much how far your pizza is while walking. You actually can control them when you're pressing the button to walk. You actually can hit left and right to control the pizza pile. So it actually is pretty easy to keep it focused. But my goal is to try to get all the way to the end in the least amount of time, of course, with the most amount of pizza still in the pile, which, if you walk too fast, of course, they all just fall over. But since you can stop every couple, to adjust the pile, which I just lost 1 pizza there, not too bad, as I'm almost at my goal here. As you can see, the clock slowly ticking down. As I do this event over and over again for the other 2 times I have to do it, I'll probably do it much quicker, so it won't be too much of a burden to sit here and watch Snoopy very, very slowly walk across, a small piece of land carrying pizzas. Not necessarily the most thrilling gameplay ever. Come on, there we go. 6.6 seconds left on the clock, and I lost only 1 pizza. So I gained a decent amount of points. I still have a grand total now of 3,510, with the world record being currently 10,000 points total. Next is the river jump, which, no, this event is of course a pole vault where you have to go through a river, but I always screw it up. You button mash and you have the time to use the vault at the exact right moment, or else Snoopy just falls in the water like that. I can almost never pull off that event. I've tried a lot, and it seems like it's completely random spot whether or not it's going to let you go over the river. Now, by failing it, I don't get any points for it, but in the end, I should have plenty of points total in order to be able to get at least the bronze medal. That's my goal. So now we go back to the first event, which is the sack race. As you can see, this would have been the shortest of all the videos had I only gone ahead and done each of these games one time. Now, I'm not sure if each of the events gets harder as you go on. I think they seemingly do a little bit, because sometimes it just seems like, for example, in the sack race, which I'm doing again here, that spike sometimes it's a little bit more challenging, but it's just about keeping that rhythm. Once you can get that rhythm going, which is a little bit like offset, like half a second or so, I say every time you want to press the button in order to get Snoopy to start going again. But once you get a healthy lead, you should have it, and I'll be able to finish it in 19.9 seconds this time around, as Spike once again crosses the finish line and falls right on his face. And there's 760 points, so I'm up to 4,270 points total here. And it's time for now the boot throwing event. Let's see if I can get it any farther than I did before. I had like 30 or so last time as my top. I had 18 the other time, so let's see if I can get this boot going. Here we go, and throw. And that looks pretty good. That looks like it's probably going to beat the other one. Come on. And 30. No, it doesn't beat my other one. So, okay, let's try again for the second time here. As it just messed up there. This one. There we go. Threw it across pretty easily. And another 30. Okay, well, maybe you can't throw it farther than 30. Either way, I get a stage bonus of 1,000. So I have 5,270 points now total, as I go into the pogo event, which, once again, isn't very easy to deal with. Let's see if I can breeze through it quicker. There we go. Second. Barely over that one. I just barely did. There we go. Over the fourth one and to the end. I did it in probably record fashion there, but you only get points for for clearing each one, not for the time. So you can take your sweet time while doing so. Time once again for overboard, which, like I said before, my strategy is just keep pushing. I don't really get exactly what determines when Spike flies over the boat. There he goes, he's gone. I don't get it. Either way, there's my time used up. A nice point total of 840, so I'm up to 7,110. Inching closer to that world record there. And here we go with the pile of